Hello and welcome to Mindset Matters with Victoria Williamson. My intention with this podcast is that you leave each conversation feeling more positive, more present, and more connected to yourself. I will share ideas and practices to support your mindset and help you get clear on what you want out of life so that you can live each day with purpose. Let's get to today's episode. Hello. Welcome back to Mindset Matters. I am so happy to be here. I'm doing it. Today was the day I woke up. I said, I'm freaking doing it. We're getting back to the podcast. And we're getting back with intention, let me tell you, okay? I feel very excited about this season. I feel very aligned in what we're going to talk about for each episode. And we're kicking things off with a good New Year's themed episode, which is really like how to do things differently this year. If you want to invite change into your life, you want to invite positive change, you want to grow, you want to flow a little bit better, have a smoother ride this year, then I hope that you can get something out of today's episode. So if you're clicking on this video, you have no idea who I am. Hello, my name is Vic. And Mindset Matters is a podcast I started a few years ago to just share some things I learned about life, about living more presently, being in alignment, connecting more with yourself. And if, as you saw with the intro, my purpose, my goal is to help you connect to your why. You know, what do you want out of life? Why do you want to do the things that you want to do? And to help you ground in presence and overall build positive mindset skills to help you flow and live your best life. Okay, that's the goal. We want to live a life that feels good to us. And something that I always love to say on here is that my intention with this podcast is never to tell you exactly what to do, because I don't know you. Maybe I know you, but I don't know your deepest desires. And sometimes we don't even know our own deepest desires, right? And I think I like to think of myself as hopefully someone who can provide some tips and tricks and practices to help you test out where you're going and figure out for yourself, connect to yourself a little bit better. Okay, I don't know if any of that made sense. Again, it's been a long time since I've been recording, but I'm so excited to be back. So how to do things differently this year, how to flow with purpose. That is episode 1. This is what we're getting into today. So I really want the theme for this season to be finding your way back with intention. And we're going to get more into what that means. But I want to start with this whole concept of flow. How do we flow this year? What does that even mean? Okay, so if you're excited about this conversation, if you love these types of conversations, please don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening. That really helps me out, helps my channel. And let's talk about flow. Let's get right to it. So when I think of flowing with life, I don't mean it in a sense where you're just like drifting through life. You don't have a direction. You don't care what happens. You know, going with the flow to me means being able to respond thoughtfully to the things that arise, to the problems that present themselves, right? Because we know that life is going to throw things at you. And I feel like it's so easy to let the little things ruin our whole day, get really negative, complain, think, you know what, okay, it's ruined. I hit the speed bump and now we're just done. It's not working. So that's what I don't want for you, right? Whatever you want to do this year, whatever you kind of change you want to invite into your life this year, I want to help you flow through the challenges, right? Because life is challenging. It's literally supposed to be. And I think that's even the first mindset shift I would help you with is reframing problems as challenges, okay? Imagine, I've said this before, but imagine a world where there was no challenges and you could just snap your fingers, you get what you want. Like, I truly feel like life would be so meaningless without the challenges we face, because it's about overcoming the challenges. It's about those twists and turns we face along the journey to our destination that make life really meaningful. It's about connecting with others, connecting with, your true self. So these are all things I want you to just keep in mind, is life is going to throw things at you that are unexpected, that you can't control, that are challenging. And that's the same for everyone. We all have this same human experience. Of course, some people have more challenges than others, and some people are very privileged in where they start out. And I'm not trying to say that those things don't exist, but I do feel like we can all start from a place of an acceptingness, this level of acceptance that life will be challenging. And so that's what I mean with flow. And so when I say flow with purpose this year, what do I mean? Because I kind of want to pause and talk about my 2025 really quick. I flowed, okay? I went into last year thinking, I just want to be present. I just want to see where life takes me. I was feeling really frustrated with how things were going. I had a couple rough months at the end of 2024. So 2025, I just wanted to reset. I just wanted to feel like I didn't care what happened, almost like I just wanted to flow, okay? And this actually is interesting. It connects to like the Chinese zodiac signs. I saw a video saying that 2025 was the year of the snake and that we were moving into the year of the horse for 2026. So I kind of wanted to learn a little bit more of, these ancient Chinese practices and what the zodiac animals actually represent. And what's interesting is I think doing it at the end of a year, it was kind of fun because I could reflect back and see if the year of the snake resonated with me. And some things that I learned upon reading were that it's a year of like settling, of shedding, of a lot of change. And the year of the horse that we're entering is very much like we're moving forward with direction. And I just think that that's actually so fitting for where I am personally in my life. So I'm wondering if you can relate as well. Let me know in the comments. Do you feel like you shed a lot this year? Do you feel like you were settling, figuring things out? For me, I started a new job. I had to let go of some friendships. I strengthened new friendships. I moved. Okay, we're in a new place. I moved apartments. And I just wanted to flow, truly, and just kind of see what happened. And I think it was a very important part of my life to just get to that place and allow myself to flow. But I think the part that I miss and the part that I'm excited to be getting back to right now is this purpose, flowing with purpose, right? We can't just flow through life. I mean, you could. Personally, I don't think it's the best way. But yes, people do flow through life with no real sense of direction, and they can still have a fulfilling life. And I think that that's great for people who just want to really truly flow. And I think for me, and I think anyone who's interested in personal development, and if you've watched this channel before, you're probably someone who wants a little bit more of your life. You want to feel like you have a purpose. You want to feel connected to that purpose. You want to have passion in your life, and that's something I want for you. So to me, I lost a little bit of my purpose. I kind of wanted to take a break from the podcast. I took a break from, trying to do some more coaching, and I ended up in this teaching job that I thought I just want to go for. And I did a lot of learning. I took a lot of courses this year, a lot of professional development to strengthen my own teaching practice and figure out how I can improve. And I went back to school a little bit. And I just love learning. I think we're going to do an episode on just why you should never stop learning in your life. But yeah, I'm just now feeling more connected to what I actually want and what I want this podcast to be. And that feels really good. We want to flow with purpose, right? It's like the yin and yang. We want to be able to respond to challenges and not let them completely throw us off track. But we also want to have that like North Star where you know where you're going. No matter how you're going to get there, you're going to end up at that place. And I think too, like that can change, that that North Star can change, or once you get there, there's going to always be something else. But I just think it's nice to have that connectedness. So personally, what I did to kind of get back to this place was I started with reconnecting to my values. Like, what are my core values? And I have an interesting exercise. It's called like the My Values exercise. You could probably Google it and find it. But essentially, it's a list of all these values, and you pick like 15 out of, I don't know how many there are. There's a lot. But you start by picking 15 that resonate with you. And then it asks you to narrow it down to 10, and then to narrow it down to 5. And this was a really good first step for me because it just helped me reconnect with like, what are my core values that I want my life to represent? So I'll share mine. Mine are health being mental, physical for me. My second one is, my order might be wrong. That's okay. But health was my number one. Health is so important to me, and moving my body, taking care of my mental health, that's my number one. Then I have connectedness. Connectedness, like for me, means connected to myself and to others. I think it's really important to feel in tune with my body, in tune with my heart, mind, and soul. To feel connectedness to others is really important to me. Then we have spirituality, and I put nature with this one. I think this was actually the fifth one, but spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe it's so important to connect with nature, to pause, to be present, to reflect. And I do believe that we are all connected in this universe, and that we have control over, our ultimate reality. So that's my third one. Then I had personal development, which you guys know I love. I love growing and improving and reflecting. I think it's just so important for me to feel like I am always striving for something. So self-development. And then what was my last one? I don't know. Anyways, but you probably get the gist. Other examples are family, ambition, but that's a great starting point, because then I could say to myself, like, okay, these are my 5 core values. How did I nurture each of these this year? And where am I kind of missing? Like, where did I not grow so much this year? And how do I get back to that? So I feel like to know where we're going, we always have to look back, and reflection is always a great place to start. So try to find that. My values exercise. I'm sure if you Google it, you could find it. And so after doing this exercise, it really led me to think about, okay, again, where am I maybe missing some things, or what things could I be doing better in 2026 to nurture each of these values? I've also talked about the 7 dimensions of wellness, which is like the key 7 areas of your life and how you are nurturing each of them. And I think it's great to pick, 2 areas of your life that you want to start with. But those are all some good tips for finding purpose again, is like, what do I actually want? What do I actually value? And am I surrounding myself with people that value similar things or support me in my values and my goals? And so the last thing that I want to talk about quickly today is an invitation for you to pick one keyword that you want to keep coming back to guide you throughout 2026. Last year, mine was presence, and I really just wanted to be present. I wanted to flow. I wanted to not think too hard about things. Of course, I ebbed and flowed in that. As human, it's hard to completely get out of our thinking brains. But the reason I suggest picking one keyword is it's just something you can always have in your back pocket. So when you feel resistance in your life, you're feeling out of alignment, you're feeling confused, think of that one word, and that can kind of be your anchor. So my word is integrity. And I'm currently rereading The Way of Integrity by Martha Beck, which is a book I would highly recommend. To Martha, integrity is to be whole, to be one thing, undivided. So she really talks about integrity almost like in the sense of a machine. She uses the metaphor of a plane. So obviously the plane has so many moving parts that to function properly, it needs to be in full integrity. So to me, integrity means to be fully and completely myself and to act in the ways that are truthful to me. And something that I struggle with is a little bit of people pleasing, where I don't always say what's on my mind. And that's something that I want to change this year. I want to be able to say what's on my mind, to disagree with people, to be more direct in my feelings, and just be more in tune with how I feel and respond accordingly. To respond with curiosity, to ask more questions in situations of conflict, for example. So integrity, that's my word. So I have my 5 values, and to me, integrity relates to all of them. And how I'm looking at this is health. When I think of my health and I think of choices that I can make, I think balance is important. But if I'm choosing, okay, I'm feeling a little bit lazy, but I want to go to the gym, my integral choice would be show up and do the thing, unless I'm like super ill or something and I need rest, right? But integrity to me is listening to my body. Am I just feeling a little bit lazy right now and I don't feel like going to the gym? Or do I actually need the rest? And if it's the first one, I'm going to show up anyways and I'm going to go to the gym. So that to me is acting in integrity with my value of supporting my health. Okay, and then same thing with the personal development. And my other one was creativity. I just remembered creativity. How am I fostering my creativity? And when I choose between 2 things that I could be doing, right? Opportunity cost. We always have to choose, choosing one thing means you're missing out on something else. We can't have it all. But in this moment, am I choosing the thing that supports my creativity, if that's something that I want to work on? So integrity is my main word for 2026. I'm so excited to be back, to be recording, to be talking to you guys. This was just an intro episode of how to reconnect with yourself, how to flow. We're going to talk a lot more about coming back and finding your way back with intention for this year. And to me, that really means not by just trying to change your whole life and feel like you need to start all over, but it's going to be by listening a little more closely. Okay, listening to yourself, listening to those values, and listening to the things that have been quietly asking for your attention. Okay, you know what you want out of life. Deep within you, you know how you want to show up. You know the type of person you want to be. And maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, I'm so out of whack, I don't even know. But this is a good place to start. But I really believe that deep inside you, there is something that's been maybe calling your attention. And if you feel that, if you can relate to that, even when I say it, then this season is for you. So thank you so much for tuning back in. And thank you so much for being patient with me. If you are a regular listener, I love you so much. And I really appreciate your patience as I've had my season of rest and my season of learning and my season of settling. And I'm really excited to be back with intention, living in integrity for 2026. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I can't wait to speak to you very soon. Bye.